welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. This is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I um I just heard my freaking intro song on a big ass speaker. Wow. There are textures and components to the song that I wasn't aware of listening to it on my laptop speaker this whole time. So, anywho, welcome to my channel. I'm about to do a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Also for your cross watchers. Also for those of us who are empaths and y'all basically function like Pisceans. Okay, y'all basically function like Pisceans. So I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I was told is watch your steps and their intentions. That's one hell of a title. That is one heck of a title. So let me just go ahead and get cards ready. I don't have much time this morning. We're not going to be doing a long, protracted um, expedite session here. Okay. We're just not. We're not. What we are going to do is share with you guys that I will be doing the 12/12 primer ceremony in a short bit, not long after this live stream ends. I'm going to be doing the 12/12 primer. That is a private fire ceremony that's going to be held on the Emmy Evolving website. Okay. And with that, if you would like to participate, there is still a little bit of time. My husband will be closing the link very soon. You just go to emmyevolving.com, go to my shop, and look for the 12/12 primer. Okay. So, and that's a very potent private fire ceremony that I'm going to be having. Okay. Sorry. My bad. All right. Here goes. All right. Why is it potent? Because I'm having it. That's why. That's why it's potent, because of me. Because I'm going to be extra potent. There's just been a lot of questionable energies over the past week or so. There's been, oh, thank you, honey. So my husband just put the link up, the link to purchase and participate if you would like to. There's the link. Portal Primer event. So these energies that have been wafting around have not been very good energies. I'll just tell you that much right now. Not been good energies. There's been a lot of attempt, a lot of desire to derail progress, to derail growth, to derail pretty much whatever the heck can be derailed. And I think you have to be very, very careful the way you allow other energies, how you allow it to affect you. Okay. So let's get started. I got about 30 minutes before I have to go. I think it's 30. All right. All right. So for quite a few, this period is going to be used as an opportunity for a trauma-induced secretion. What that means is the guardians and the respect will be thinned. Okay. That means that you need to be extra, extra, extra careful with who you engage, what you engage, what you allow, what you do not allow. If you want my advice, I would not engage with anyone. Okay. Anyone who wants to argue, anyone who's getting aggressive in their stance, I'm good. You're right. I'm out. Just okay. Especially when you're out running errands or whatever it is you need to do outside of your home. I would definitely I would definitely be extra mindful of how people try and or situations try and bait you into more negative interactions with individuals, okay? These are cycles that are upside down, and these upside down cycles are geared to create, reestablish, return you to a place of balance, okay? In order to get to that space of balance, though, there's going to be a lot of things that will not be very savory for you. Um, if you can mind yourself, right? If you can exist in this space of really just kind of minding yourself, minding your business, not allowing yourself to get sucked into other people's situations. What am I saying? I am trying to express that there is a time and a place for you to help, for you to involve yourself. Um, this period is neither the time nor the place. Okay. Now, you definitely are free to disregard what I said and, continue being you, continue helping anyone, anything, anywhere, anytime. That's up to you. Okay. For me personally, I'm making it a point to be extra mindful of what I allow myself to partake in, what I allow myself to get pulled into. There's going to be a lot of pulling, okay? A lot of pulling. And it is up to you what you want to do with that. Okay? So, for example, I was walking down the stairs this morning, and the stairs are fairly steep. They are steep stairs. And I was like, that's weird. Because I kept feeling this sense of an attempt to suck in enough energy from the environment and try to run down the stairs behind me and just tackle me to make me fall down the stairs. I kept feeling that sense. And I was like, that's weird. Now I'm not going to figure out what that is. I'm going to shield myself more. Fuck you, bitches. I'm not falling down the stairs this morning. Okay? So I kept my energy to myself, like, no, baby boo. You will not be pushing me down the stairs. I will not even stutter in my steps. No, no. I'm going to be aware that there is something that I'm sensing, and I'm going to go ahead and just take um, the most elevated option, which is keeping my energy to myself and not allowing anything in, not allowing anything to touch me. It felt like there was maybe 3 or 4 attempts to try and do this as I was walking down the stairs. I was like, nope, not going to allow it. Right? Okay. So, security. You have to make sure you are at your highest degree of secure within your home. Okay. So, for many of us, we think that just because we're inside a home, nothing can affect us. That's true if you have dominant energy and you maintain your home, right? If you maintain the energy of your home, most likely nothing's going to come in. Now, burning sage is not enough. Burning sage creates deficits of energy because it clears everything. The burning of the sage clears everything, even the good energies. So you'll have pockets of emptiness within your home that need to be backfilled with something else. You could burn cedar, you can burn Palo Santo, you could burn all sorts of different things, and those will kind of help to fill in whatever spaces the sage has too successfully cleared out. It's important that there are no pockets of emptiness within your home. It's super duper important that you claim every space of your home during this period, okay? Because mhm, if you don't, then you'll have situations where things will definitely try. We've entered into a very dark stage. Yeah. We've entered into a very dark stage, and that's the thing. Most people don't want to hear that. Most people want to be lulled into this space of positivity and, oh, someone's coming to love you. Oh, you're gonna have money. Oh, you're gonna this and that and all these positive things. And I don't really have it in me to do that to you or do that with you, where we're going to pretend everything's okay. No, I'm all about allowing myself to be realistic as to what's going on so that I could properly address it, properly prepare, properly navigate through challenging spaces within our journey as a collective whole. And I think that's kind of what's happening. There's this upside down magic that won't be kept secret much longer, right? There's massive attempts to conceal, but whatever's trying to be concealed, they will, whoever this is, will definitely have to take responsibility for it. Then bullshit. Okay? You're going to find out something very important very soon about maybe an individual who's in your space who you thought had some honorable intentions, but it turns out they don't. It turns out they don't. And, if they don't have these honorable intentions, then you need to make sure that you are fully aware, like fully aware of what their intention is around you, with you. Okay? For for some of us, I think you've already been questioning this individual. You've been questioning um you've been really questioning what they're planning, what their energy is trying to tell you. I think you've been very much being told by your higher self, but it's hard for you to believe what you're hearing as a potential truth. It's very hard for you to believe that. um you don't have to believe it, but you do have to prepare. You have to prepare by not allowing yourself to exist in a space of disillusionment, right? There is no use in you trying to pretend that you are not as gifted as you are. You're highly gifted. Most people who are fake gifted, I said what I said. Most people who are fake gifted, they have a tendency to not like me very much, right? They have this tendency to want to prove that I'm a fraud and I'm a fake and all of these different things because they're aware. They're aware to some degree that I'm aware and that I won't play by their games. And so, because of that, they don't like me. But here you are sharing space with me regularly, probably because we have so much resonance between us. There's so much resonance, right? So that means you're probably, to some unspecified degree, just as gifted in your sensitivities, in your intuitive sense. So you need to begin listening to that. You need to begin allowing that to guide you through this period. The next card is masculine, masculine in reverse. So allowing yourself to know who this is. Who is this? It is some type of masculine energy that it's almost like they're obsessed with you. It's I don't know if obsessed is the right word. It's like a fixation. Fixated on you. Absolutely fixated. They're fixated and it's something I don't know what their intention is. Let me see what the other cards say. Okay, this is someone you don't talk to. Okay. All right. So there's a frustration going on. This is someone that you don't speak to in real life, right? This is someone who either they feel like they're upside down in their integrity, or they're concerned because I mean, this is a general reading. So either they're upside down in their integrity, or they're concerned that you will see them and their actions and their attraction to you as being something that lacks integrity. They're more concerned about the way they appear to you. So that tells me, I don't know, my logic is sometimes weird. That tells me that this is someone that's full of integrity, but they're afraid, they're concerned that you'll see them and their desire for you as something that does not have integrity. They don't know how to read you. So maybe my husband will be closing the 1212 primer link in 7 minutes. In 7 minutes. How lovely of you to give advance notice. Um, this is tough because it's like they want to come out of this space of timeout. They want to approach you with strength, with dignity. They're concerned about the way you see their level of integrity because of their desire to approach. And their desire to approach has a lot to do with their sacred journey, right? There's their sacred journey is something that really it looks as though it's bringing them back to you anyways. There's this passion that is a faulty regulator, and they're very, very passionate about the desire to communicate with you. But at the same time, they don't want to surrender to that because probably they don't think you'll surrender to it. A touche. Touche, touche. Um, hmm. I think there's going to be a lot of tumultuous stuff going on during this period. You guys got to make sure. You got to make sure. I've waited 100 years. I'll wait a million more for you. Here goes. So, ancestral magic and betrayal in reverse. There's this thing of like, that's intense. That's a very intense message. It's like this connectivity from long past, way, 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 way back there. You guys have, you and this individual have ancestral similarities, or shared ancestors. Um, so this is something that's been cycling through quite a bit. It's been cycling through lifetimes. This betrayal, I'm wondering if they're identifying as someone who has betrayed you, um, but they really haven't. I'm wondering if they're wondering if you think they've betrayed you. I don't necessarily feel for this specific individual that there was any type of actual betrayal. I feel like your journeys took you to different places, and it's just, um, it's just something that you guys need to work through. I don't know that this is someone that's supposed to be romantic with you. It does feel like this is someone who has components of your puzzle that you're now probably needing so that you can reach higher levels of understanding of yourself and your journey. There's a need to shed whatever that belief is about some perceived betrayal. Now, just because someone chooses to live their life without you, like they move forward without you, does not mean they've abandoned you. It does not mean that they have betrayed you or tossed you aside or any of that. We do not know how long someone is destined to be in our lives. We do not know. So if you don't know if someone is supposed to be in your life long term or not, how are you going to accuse them of betraying you by leaving or abandoning you? Right? If they were only supposed to be in your life for like, I don't know, 5 days, 5 days, and they were there for the 5 days, but in your head, you've gone ahead and told yourself they're going to be in your life for 50 years. Yes, you'll feel like it's a betrayal, but is it? No, it's not. You'll feel abandoned, but have you been abandoned? No, they were never intended to be in your life long term. Okay? And just because you wanted it doesn't mean that's what was best for you. Okay? So 2 minutes before the link is closed, he's not joking. He's not joking. All right. Andaran activation in reverse. So the higher levels of awareness and coding is not factoring in here for whatever reason, whatever this is. It's intense. It's intense. There's so much upheaval, so much like disharmonic energy, disharmonic frequency. It's this sense of how would I put it? How would I put it? Um, there are several people who are part of this equation, and whatever this equation is, it has a lot, like a lot to do with things being shifted in order for, I heard, what is real and what is proper to come forward, right? The connections, what is real and what is proper, it's going to be allowed to come forward. But first, all of this caca needs to be cleared out. And I think that's what this is. Watch your steps and their intentions. So there's one person whose intentions are pure, right? They're just basically trying to understand what soul is encouraging them to connect with you for. And then there are others, multiple others, whose intentions are not pure. You have to be able to discern the difference between them. Ew. Michael? Something's wrong. There's something wrong in the world right now. There's something very, very wrong. A process is being initiated that will cause an acceleration of your ascension mechanics. This means you're going to skyrocket up in frequency. As you skyrocket up in frequency, there's going to be a lack of protection. This is going to cause you to bust through that barrier. That barrier, if it um, The world is made of electromagnetic energy. I saw a video in my recommendations about birds going bonkers. I've been feeling like something is coming. When you have celestial bodies and they possess electromagnetic fields, and one has a much more profound gravity to it, a much larger, more prominent field, it can displace the other. It can absolutely displace the other. And as the other becomes displaced in its own sacred space, it creates a type of movement that would negatively impact the natural ascension mechanics. I cannot go deeper into it on a public live stream. So everything's going to be fine. So, intuition, right? Your next card, intuition. Allowing your intuition to be the very thing that guides you, protects you, keeps you from experiencing things that are unnecessary for you to experience. The other day, I got this weird sense. I was making some pan-seared chickens, pan-seared deboned chickens, and it was like my third batch on the stove. And there's maybe like half an inch of oil from what has kind of melted off of the chicken skin, because I was using chicken thighs that I had taken off the bones. So a lot of what was happening was, there was a lot of oil that was kind of being shot everywhere, which is not a big deal. And then I got a weird sense. My intuition was telling me something. And it was almost like I was waiting for the oil to splash on my face for no reason. And I was using a fairly large pan. And I just remember hearing this sensing this communication from Michael of get ready. At which point everything time slows down when I enter into that type of mental state. And so everything slowed down for a second, and I heard a very slowed down pop, like the oil was going to actually splatter on my face. At which point I said, ooh, like, no, I don't want that to happen. I've been burned before, and that does not feel good. and then it felt like Michael went like this to me to push me back, which kind of made me lean back like a step. And then I saw the oil coming, and I had the tongs still in the thing. I said, no. And I pulled back instead of letting the tongs go, and it pulled the whole pot, the whole pan off of the stove. That was like a 4 or 5 quart pan with half an inch of oil in it. That oil should have spilled on my chest and like completely down my body and both my legs. That would have been second or third degree burns. And I felt myself get pushed back even more. And then I jumped over to the side. And I was like, ah! Like, oh my God, touching all my clothes. Not a single bit of oil got on me. And I was like, oh my God. And then Michael goes, your socks, take them off. And then I realized the heel of my left foot had gotten into some oil. I immediately took it off. My skin was not burned at all. And it fell on this gel mat that I have in front of the stove, the kind that they use like in professional kitchens We have that same gel mat that helps to prevent back pain. Um, it's a very thin, like plastic plastic silicone type of material that covers the actual gel mat. And all of the chicken, the pot, or the pan, and the oil was sitting on there for like a good 2 minutes or so because I wasn't going to burn myself trying to clean it up right away. Um, that didn't melt. That didn't melt. Neither did the pan sitting on that melt it. It didn't melt it. So I was kind of just like, what in hell? you know, how does the oil cool down that quickly? That's like basically instantly cooling down. The house was warm. We have our heater on. So all of that, none of that made sense. But yes, it did. It did. Because it's this thing, this message of if you listen to your intuition, the things that you don't need to experience will not be experienced. You will witness these things happening, but it won't happen in a way that forces your involvement any further than what you need to be involved in. So, this is something that you have to be aware of. During this period, you have to be aware of what is being attempted. These are things that are very high level type attempts that I can't get into on a public live stream. If you guys want me to talk about this at some point in the Soul Sanctuary, simply remind me and we can definitely talk about it. Okay. So now is a time to no longer be inspired by the things that are upside down, the type of situations that keep you in upside down cycles, that keep you in these spaces that prevent you from having the big bold visions, you know, big bold visions of how you will completely change your life and the trajectory of your life and all of these really amazing concepts. You are in control of yourself. If you're not going to listen to your intuition during this period, you're going to be guiding yourself into situations that you probably don't need to experience, but probably will because you're not taking in the intuitive guidance. Okay. For those who have a high calling, your guidance is going to become much more internalized over the next couple weeks. I don't know if that makes sense. It's going to be less people telling you what to do and more of you just knowing what you need to do. It's okay if you don't understand the message. It's okay if you don't understand the guidance. It's not okay if you completely ignore it because you lack the understanding. Oftentimes when you're dealing with things that are based in soul, um, you gain the understanding after the event is done, not during it, not during the event, during the learning. No, you learn after. Okay. Conscious connections. You're being asked to make a conscious connection to someone who's in the world, not of the world. This is an individual who is extremely, extremely advanced in their energy, their consciousness, their knowing. They might be a redhead. I don't know. Michaela. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Card number 34, in the world, not of the world. So, this is someone who is basically waiting to connect with you. Again, I do not know that this is something romantic, okay? Let's not be so desperate to fornicate that we try and make everything about romance and sex, please. Can we just not? That's what gets you all screwed up in the first place. You are so eager, for some, you are so eager to have sex with someone that you turn everything into this divine connection just to justify your desire to satisfy carnal desires. I mean, like, stop, stop. Not everything is about that. If you would step into a little bit more of a tantric state, I'm saying it wouldn't need to be something that's consistent, but instead it would be something that is much more satisfying to a much longer degree if you would just like, work on the things that need to be worked on. So this is more of a soul-based message. This is about you and your progression through your journey and just really how you can maneuver through this. Again, there is an individual who, for many of you, carries a lot of the different pieces that you're needing at this point in order to better understand where you're headed within yourself. But, big but, it's a big but. But if you're going to be so hell bent on turning this into the type of process that um, requires you to hurt much more because you're not paying attention, then it's not going to be enjoyable. It's going to be something very, very not enjoyable. Against the grain. Okay. Um, I hope it's business and improvement, and I'm in no rush to jump into a relationship right now. This right here, yes, you're probably going to be one of the ones who is able to utilize this period for maximized growth, maximized expansion of consciousness and awareness, and all of that. If you can focus on the things that pertain to your growth, then the growth will happen for your growth. The events will happen for your growth, not just for some temporary enjoyment. I'm telling you guys, you have to look long term during this period because there's a lot of very parasitic attempts, parasitic programs that are being run right now, and those are all short term, just to derail you, just to harvest your energy, just to do these things that you really don't need to give your permission for. You can continue forward without those things. You can absolutely learn what you need to learn and progress and make some pretty important life moves that will get you to that next level of your existence. Okay. This is the part of our journey as a collective whole where some of us will move forward, right? We're going to continue up that Christic spiral. And then the others of us, we're going to begin cycling back down. The work of Dr. Dabrowski on the theory of positive personality disintegration, it can help you to best understand this. This is the point where the leaders of the new worlds, and I'm not talking about New World Order, I'm talking about the leader of the new world we are creating together. Those leaders are being primed to step into a space of leadership. First, they must lead themselves out of the dark spaces so that they can understand the gravity of their existence. And as they lead themselves out of these dark spaces, they begin to understand how to lead other people out of it as well. That's why this is going to be challenging. You're going to have minimal help from your spiritual team, your etheric team. And that's because this needs to be done by your hands and your hands alone. Right? So it's up to you how you want to do it. But if you go against the grain, you have the opportunity to take off much more of the bulk of what you're trying to shed in much less time. Defend to the end the worthwhile, but it's in reverse. Your empathic nature is going to be very much exploited during this period. Okay. That's why I was saying, don't be so quick to just, consistently helping other people who you don't even know if they actually need the help or not. You have to use quite a bit of discernment. You have to watch your steps, and then you also have to watch their intentions. Okay. There's going to be people who are brought to you during this period. Their intentions are not good. Their story is amazing, right? It's an amazing story of like how, wow, wow, wow. I mean, that was cold, wasn't it? Capricorn moon, get over it. I'm serious. Get over it. Everyone has a story. I have a story. I don't use it to um, gain favor and be exempt from the consequences of my decisions. Like, for real, get over it. Everyone has a story, everyone has things they've been through. It's not just you. And when you continue to exist in this space that was first initiated by those who run the programs, they want you to think that, like, oh, wow, 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 poor me. No, stop it. That's not how you get your power back. You get your power back by recognizing how much you've been through, therefore, how much you've overcome. And if you can overcome that much, that means you can do even more. Get out of that mindset. They want you trapped there. Now, if you want to stay there, you're more than welcome to stay there. You will not rise. I'm be very, very blunt right now because we're running out of time. You're not going to rise. You're going to cycle back down into this really cluster fluff energy. Okay. You're going to really, really amplify a lot of your insecurities. You're going to be amplifying a lot of these feelings and perceptions that, oh, you can never have anything nice. That's what you're going to manifest for yourself, whatever you begin to hyperfixate on. That's part of the program. There's the divide that's being created that's not being spoken about. That divide is, it's going to take us into a new space within society. It's up to you what you will choose, whether you will continue to rise higher and see every event of your life as evidence of your capacity to continue to succeed and thrive and encourage, empower others to do the same, or you're going to use it as a way to justify your perpetual suffering. The choice is yours. I will not join you in the suffering. The choice is yours. Okay, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm speaking blunt fucking truth at this point. Blunt truth. Now, if I'm triggering your cognitive dissonance, you're going to need to address that. How do you address that? Recognizing that I'm triggering you because there's something that you need to address. Once you realize what needs to be addressed, acknowledge it. I see. Okay, this is what I'm going through. Yes. Okay. I'm going to allow myself the time and the space to find the best way for me to address this in the gentlest way possible for myself. I'm not going to attack myself. I'm not going to shame myself. I'm going to simply hold space as I figure out over, a little bit of a period of time how I should move forward through this. You don't have to do everything today, right now. But this is something that's going to continue to escalate as we're moving towards that 12/21 portal date, which I don't know if I'm going to be doing expedites then. As we're moving towards that 12/21 portal date, am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that with no consequence to myself personally? Okay. I'm not allowed to tell you. Carrying forward, because I'm out of time. Diving for light. You have to go very deep into yourself to find the light of your actual truth. I'm not talking about the light that's reflected from the surface of the water, from outside of you. Okay. I'm talking about the light of your actual truth. You have to find your truth very, very soon. You have to begin existing in a space where you are actively trying to find out what you need to do during this period of your growth. There's going to be those situations and people who will cause you to have this knee jerk reaction or perception that they are heaven sent. This is the perfect opportunity. This is yada, 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 and yada, yada, yada. Be careful. Be careful with that. Not everything that seems full of integrity actually is. You have to make sure that you allow yourself to recognize the when and the where of what you need to do. You have to make sure that you allow yourself to really, really, really Be honest with why you want things, why you're making something your goal, why this, why that. You got to be very honest with yourself. This is not something you're going to need to confess to anybody. Okay. This is a very personal internal process. And as you get into that process, you're going to need to make sure that what you're doing still carries with it the integrity of the original intent. Does that make sense? The integrity of the original intention. If not, some of what might happen is you forgetting what it is you're actually trying to do. And as you forget what you're trying to do, you're going to make a lot of missteps. And as you make a lot of missteps, what will happen is other people's attempts to derail you, to trip you up, to cause you to falter and fall will become that much more potentially successful. All of this is nothing but potential. We don't speak in absolutes because we, all of us, every single last one of us, we don't know how things will actually play out, right? I'm basing what I am sharing with you right now on my experiences in the past week, my understanding, my very intimate understanding of the trajectory that the collective whole is currently going towards, and my desire to make sure that this period is something that carries with it the least amount of struggle, the least amount of suffering, and the least amount of heartache. But I can only do so much because I don't have control over other people, nor do I want control over other people. I simply want to share the message that I am asked to share by soul and then keep it moving. Because remember, making sure that you don't allow yourself to get sucked into other people's cycles, other people's circumstance is super duper crucial during this period. Don't let yourself get played by demonic things. We're in a very dark period right now. Much darker than I am able to effectively and accurately communicate to all of you in a public live stream. Okay. So, for those of you who who are in the Soul Sanctuary Love, the recurring ministry contribution, you guys have heard me talk about things. For those who are in my K33 programs, you guys have heard me talk about things. There's a lot of things that y'all who are in my private virtual communities, y'all know. It's been kicked up several notches, okay? And we got to make sure that everything we do also gets kicked up several notches for our safety, for our health. And there is nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong with you. Okay? All right, guys, I got to get going. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. If you are joining me for the the 12/12 primer event, it's on the Emmy Evolving website. You should have received an email to the email associated with the purchase, and it gives you the links to go to. You need to set up the account. It takes maybe a minute if you don't already have an account on the Emmy Evolving website. Again, it's a private event. The links are now closed. There's no way to purchase it. For those that have already have, I will see you shortly. I hope everyone has an amazing, amazing rest of their day. Please be safe. Be aware of your surroundings and other people's intentions. Take care, guys. Bye, everyone.